Hey everyone, it's Matt with Jeep to Rome. Be sure to follow and check out my Instagram page, Jeep to Rome. That's with the number 2. Today, I'd like to share with you my thoughts and impressions of the Rhino Rack Pioneer platform system that has a backbone system inside. Now it's like a mouthful. Every time I say it, I get it messed up. Anyway, I've had it on my Jeep for a couple of weeks now, and the next mod that I'm going to do to my Jeep is put a rooftop tent on it. So I'm going to share with you some of the features, some of the things that I like about it, and why I chose the rack overall. I did a lot of research into other ones, and I'm really happy with the way this one turned out. So stay tuned, and I'll show you some of the things that I like. All right, starting from the back of the Jeep, going in here, you can see the backbone system that sits here. It rests on the hardtop and then the frame of the Jeep that goes, or the body of the Jeep that goes across the rear storage area here. But on top, you can see where the bolts come through. There's 3 of them that actually bolt onto the foot that sits on the outside of the Jeep. And the instructions, I misinterpreted them and actually drilled an extra hole. I filled it with silicone to stop any water seepage. So that's worked out for me so far. I live in El Paso where there's not a lot of rain, but we'll see how that goes. And look, there's a little ant. Keep him alive. He'll do some good, hopefully. Anyway, it fits nicely around the bolts that keep the hardtop secured to the Jeep here. Fits nicely around that. And then over here for the 3rd one. And then here you can see it has this nice padding with the logo. Love that. For the shoulder area for the passengers. So far it's done really well. I have 3 kids. It'd be pretty detrimental if they, smack their head or something there with the piece of metal. So that's a cool feature. Really like that. Coming around to the other side. Pretty much the same thing. The 3 bolts on the top, 1, 2, and 3. There's the extra one that I messed up. Not perfect, but life goes on, huh? Goes down and fits there, and then that goes up over there. I'm gonna go around and I'll show you the outside now. All right, from the outside, I'm starting from the driver's side. You can see where there's the 3 feet there that go on each side. This front side here, there's actually a bracket that you mount to the roll cage, so you have to take the hardtop off. Obviously there's 3 bolts that mount it to the roll cage, and then it goes up through and mounts to this here, the other 3. I think the hardest part of the installation was securing the actual rack to the feet here. The reason why is there's just not very much room, and you have to get the spacing and alignment like really close, otherwise it's not going to work. So you can see that bolt right here. There's 1 on each foot that mounts up to the piece of the rack there. And if you don't get it pretty close, it's going to be really difficult. But I ended up getting my dad help me out, which is a huge help. I would definitely recommend having some extra hands when you're doing this portion of it. You can see there's the second one. The things that secure the foot to the bracket is there's 1 bolt here with the Allen wrench head there and there. There's the 3rd one. Going around the back, I love the logos on the rear end there. Looks pretty awesome. One of the other main features why I really like this rack is the low profile of it. It keeps the center of gravity low, especially when you start lifting Jeeps and when you start putting weight on top. It's really important to try to keep the center of gravity low. Otherwise, when you get on some level terrain, you're going to start having issues teeter-tottering or tipping over, things like that. There's the front end. Another feature I'll show you, I'm gonna hop up on top here, show you the top view. All right, so here's the top view. You can see that the size of the Pioneer platform doesn't extend too far forward, which I like, so I can still take off the Freedom panels and have access if I want fresh air or anything like that. All these little things right here, all the little pieces, there's lots of little pieces here and there and bolts that are kind of time consuming when you're doing the assembly of it. But you can see there, again, going back to the low profile, I forget the exact height of it, but it's pretty dang close to the hardtop there, which is great for that center of gravity. Hey guys, just to clarify, so there's 3 different components that make up the whole system. So you have the Pioneer platform, which is the actual rack that goes up here, the flat portion here. Then you have the feet and the brackets. I believe these 2 came together, I can't remember, but it's the foot and the bracket that mounted onto the hardtop. Then the backbone system is actually the structural portion that's inside here that I already showed you. So those are the 3 different components of the system. Yeah. So overall with the system, I'm really impressed with it. The durability, the load capacity of it, it's really solid and low profile, especially when you get people up there, rooftop tent and other equipment that you can mount to it. It's going to be really well work out for me. I got the rack from 2 different places. One was from Northridge 4x4. Go check them out. They actually gave me a really good deal. I bought the 2 components of the rack, and about 4 or 5 days later there was a sale that went on, so I called them up and said, hey, I just bought this rack, can you give me the same deal for the sale? And they're like, yeah, sure. So they sent me the gift card that compensated for the discounted price, which is awesome. So go check them out. They give you a good deal, great products. The second place where I got them, for those of you that are in the military, police force, or the firefighters, anything like that, Expert City. They actually have Pioneer or the Rhino rack systems on there for a discounted price. So the feet is actually where I got from Expert City. So go check them out as well if you're one of those members. Overall, really happy with the product. Can't wait to get my rooftop tent on there. So stay tuned for the next video, and we'll see you then.